Now, I sometimes talk about motorcycle dynamics, and it's usually from more of a general approach, looking at the motorcycle's geometry, understanding how changes here or there will affect the handling, and then some calculations. That's as far as I've gone over so far on the channel. But it really gets interesting when you start being able to apply what you know to tune the chassis. But in order to do that, we need some kind of feedback. Now, in industry, throughout the development, that might be the test riders going out. You might see spy shots of the motorcycles. That's usually test riders. An experienced test rider might be able to go out and come back and tell you the front is too soft, or maybe it's a bit too steep. We need to make some adjustments to the chassis. Now, I don't have an experienced test rider on hand, unfortunately, so I'll have to opt with option 2, which is data logging. Now, data logging is something that's widely done throughout motorsports. It gives the team an upper hand. They're able to analyze the chassis and see where they need to make adjustments to get ahead in the sport. It's also where a lot of manufacturers do a lot of their chassis development. Now, I can't afford to buy a full data logger set. I think it can be quite expensive, but I'm quite interested to try build one myself. Now, we're going to split this project into 4 phases, and it's going to get quite advanced, quite complicated, but for now we're just going to focus on phase 1, which is to prepare a gyro sensor, which is going to tell us our lean and tilt angles, and GPS, which gives us position and velocity. First off, the simplest way to test and develop electronics is with a breadboard. It allows you to connect the pins of your different components by simply connecting them both to a common line. Now, this board is kind of narrow, so what I've actually done is I've expanded it. I've removed this rail and attached a second breadboard. Now you'll see that we have a positive and a negative line. So this is going to be our voltage and our ground. If we look on the underside, we'll see how this actually works. Each of these pinholes here gives one line of connection. And this whole rail, the whole of the negative line is connected, or the ground line, and the whole of the voltage line is connected. So we can connect the voltage or the power supply just to this one pin here and supply voltage throughout this whole line. And then we can connect all of our ground lines from all of our different components to this ground line. Okay. Now, for tutorials or guidance on how to connect any of these parts, I found this website, Random Nerd Tutorials, to be extremely helpful. Next, we have our microcontroller. I believe this is like an upgrade of the Arduino, so it comes with more onboard RAM and processing power. I'm not a wizard at all this, so I'll leave all the technical jargon to the other channels that actually specialize in this stuff. But just for this project, this is what I'm going to be using. And that's going to allow us to make all the connections between our sensors to then our SD card for data logging. And just to try and get as much space as I can, as much real estate, I'm going to position it here so it overlaps this line here and this line here. So any connections I make will be in line with these pins. And we have 4 open spaces for each pin. Okay, so I've connected the power line and the ground to the rails. I just want to give you a quick close-up. You'll notice that there are a lot of pins on each side, and they're all numbered or lettered differently. Now that's going to vary depending on your manufacturer, so it's very important that you refer to the correct documentation for your boards. Now, the next thing I have here is a GPS module. It says here GY GPS 6M version 2. It does have an onboard battery, so it's supposed to remember all the satellite information. We'll see how that goes. I've already connected our wires. We just need to connect this now to the correct pins and have this in a location to do the satellite stuff. Now I'm not going to mount this one to the board. I'm just going to keep it free actually. So I'm just going to position it roughly on the board and connect up the wires. Now, it's a little bit untidy, but this is just a prototype to make sure everything works before we develop a more permanent solution. So that's our GPS installed. Next, we have our accelerometer or gyro sensor. It's called a MPU 6050. It's a very popular sensor, I believe, very good for what it's meant for. I'm not sure whether it's good for a motorcycle yet, so we're going to see if it is or not, and if it's no good, then we'll upgrade it. you'll see the very poor soldering job. This is my first attempt at soldering, and I believe a lot of cold welds. Just in case you're worried about giving this a go, all of these kind of melt instantly, and you can easily remove them as well. So don't even worry about messing up. I think it's for such small, cheap pieces to practice soldering like this, I wouldn't worry about it. So let's connect this into the board and then connect up the wires. Now it'd be good to be able to test these one by one as we go, but I've already gone through all this process, so I'm just going to continue assembling, and the next thing we're going to assemble is actually display. So that's going to make it easier to see what's coming through. So we're going to connect this up, and then we can start a code which will start transmitting this information to this this display. This is a small 0.96 inch OLED display. Then of course we need an SD card module, because we want to be able to easily copy our information from here to our PC. Now the first board I opened, or the first module I opened, this part here was actually disconnected. The solder, the weld had come detached, so you'll have to be wary of the quality of these parts sometimes. This one actually works okay. The next problem we have with it, or the pain in the ass with it, is the pin identification is on the underside. So once you put it down, I hope you took a picture. And the next thing, the SD card, it doesn't need to be big. We're only recording a small amount of data, so it doesn't need to be 32 gig. But this holder, or this module, doesn't really hold the SD card properly. So once you've slid it into this point, that's as far as it goes. It doesn't secure it anymore. You can easily pull it out. So I think within the enclosure that I'm going to model, I'm going to try and build some kind of retention in here. Next, we have a couple of push buttons. Now these are going to allow us to essentially flip a switch, and I have a bigger version which I'll probably put on the handlebars or something instead of this version, but we're going to clip this into the assembly now. Okay, and then we're all connected up. Now the next thing to do is to test everything works. Everything's been connected together. I haven't damaged any of these connections or these solder joints, solder connections. And we just need to connect the power supply, which could come straight from the PC. We could have a separate power module. I don't have that. You can also just power it straight off of a power bank. So my plan on the motorcycle, when this is eventually tested on the motorcycle, is going to be just to bring a power bank alongside it, connect in the power supply, and then we should see everything start to light up. Okay, there we go. So light on the ESP32 indicates that it's we have power supply and it's running. But the light on the accelerometer, and we have nothing currently on the GPS, and you'll see why in a moment. There's no indicator on the SD card. So what I've done is I've put in a little script within this app. The reason I'm moving this around right now is because I have another script in there, which we'll see in a moment. This is telling us that it's moving right now, and we need to allow it to rest for it to calibrate. Okay, so we have our LN and our PT. This is short for lean and pitch. So if we start to tilt this board, we'll start to see an angle of inclination in either the pitch or lean. So we just have to make sure that this is all orientated properly when we install it on the bike. We also have, so I just want to give you a little closer reading here. So I have R at the top, R1, SAT 0. We'll wait for this to connect to the satellites. SD card OK, waiting on GPS, lean and pitch, and GPS is being acquired. Okay, so once we've connected our power supply, we'll get an LED light show up on some of our components to indicate that they're receiving power. So our ESP32 and our gyro accelerometer. The GPS, on the other hand, only flashes blue when we have made a connection to enough satellites to start receiving our GPS position. SD card module does not have any indication, so I've put in a code which actually tells us at the top here, SD card OK. If it's not OK, it's not going to try and write this information to the board. It's just going to function as a display instead. So we just need to wait for the GPS to finish connecting, and then we'll show you the functions of the two buttons. Okay, so we put it on the windowsill so we can get a kind of better line of sight for the satellites. We now have GPS satellites 6. You'll see on the left we have R7, and at the bottom would be our GPS. I'm going to cover that up so I don't show my exact location. But with the GPS, we get an output for velocity as well. So we got miles per hour there. Now, one of the functions I built in with this switch is to convert that to kilometers per hour. So that's just going to be useful if I'm making videos, if I use any overlays or anything like that. People might want to see a direct comparison of kilometers per hour on this GPS versus what I'm seeing on the dash on the bike. Or you might just want to show miles per hour because for whatever reason. The next button is controlling the R value, the R8, new run, or new section, or new route, for example. So as soon as I put onto a road, if I want to record all that data, or if I want to be able to filter that data more easily, I'll say, okay, so this is the new run. I'm going to record, or I'm going to separate this data, or I'm going to give an identifier so I can filter it more easily. So that's essentially what that is for. So now with this, we should be able to get an output of our data to the SD card, which should have been logging this whole time. And we can pull that onto the PC and take a look. We should have all the lean angle data, the pitch angle, GPS, velocity, all of that. We've got a couple of things we can do with this. So I need to make an enclosure and make some more, hardwired connections or some more robust connections. And making an enclosure means I can install it somewhere on the bike that I know any kind of tilt like this is not going to happen accidentally. It's going to be in a firm location. So any tilt is actually a result of the motorcycle, not the loose components. So I need to make a more permanent solution. So once that's done, we can take this out on the bike and start collecting a little bit of data. Again, just phase 1, not yet phase 2. Phase 2 will be coming next, of course. So something else I'm thinking to do is, once we get this into an enclosure and mount it on the bike, we'll take it out for a test. We'll record as much data as we can, and then I'm going to try and output that data to an overlay. So this has actually been one of the most fun projects I've worked on in a while. It's got so many different elements to it, from the electronics to the 3D CAD and the programming even. It's actually really fun and really satisfying to get this working. So I'm looking forward to getting it on the bike and getting some data and moving on with that as well, because that's going to be interesting. Anyway, so for anyone new to electronics or hasn't done anything like this before, I haven't either. So I hope this goes some way to show you that actually it's not as scary as it looks. It's very simple and kind of risk-free to play around with breadboards and to get something working. Once you have it working, you feel really motivated to get a more permanent kind of permanent prototype working. Anyway, I hope this has been interesting, and I hope some of you are inspired to get your hands on with some electronics and to make something yourself, because it's really satisfying. And with that, I'll see you next time.